10 years of silence.
One spark of jealousy. And a love story that refuses to die. Tonight, we uncover the truth behind Soo Kai's bold comeback after Tan Songyun's shocking romance rumors shook the entire entertainment world. Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear will change the way you see them forever. For years, the story of Soo Kai and Tan Songyun was not written in public declarations, but in the silent spaces between them. Behind the flashing cameras and the roaring crowds, there existed a quieter narrative, one that fans sensed but could never quite prove. It was in the way their eyes lingered a fraction longer than necessary during interviews, the warmth in their laughter when they shared a stage, the subtle gestures that seemed to carry more weight than ordinary friendship. To the world, these were fleeting moments, but to those who watched closely, they spoke of a connection too strong to ignore.
Soo Kai carriait disconnexion like à secret flamme.
As his career flourished and his name became synonymous with talent and success, there remained an emptiness he could not fill. Achievements and accolades lined his path, but none could silence the quiet yearning within him. He admired Tan Songyun from a distance, a woman who had carved her own path with grace and resilience, who seemed to shine brighter with each passing year. His heart was tethered to her, yet his lips remained sealed. There were reasons for his silence. The relentless demands of their careers, the fear of scandal, the weight of expectations, all conspired to keep him still. Speaking his truth risked everything, their friendship, their reputations, perhaps even their futures in an industry where every whisper is magnified.
Enso et chose restreint.
Yet with each passing day, the silence grew heavier. It became not just a choice but a burden, pressing against him with a reminder of opportunities missed and words left unspoken. For Tan Songyun, the story may have felt different. She too pursued her dreams, her life unfolding in chapters of success and independence. To the outside world, she appeared untouched by the whispers of romance, focused instead on her craft and the person she was becoming. Yet, in the stillness between them, there lingered something fragile, an unspoken understanding that perhaps neither dared to name. This was the essence of the silent years, a decade marked by longing and restraint, by love felt but never confessed. It was a love story half-written, waiting for the courage of its characters to give it voice. And as time moved on, that unfinished narrative only deepened, shaping the choices and emotions that would one day burst into the open, changing both their lives forever. It happened on an ordinary evening in Beijing, yet the consequences were anything but ordinary. Under the dim glow of streetlights, Tan Songyun was seen walking closely beside a man whose presence was unfamiliar to the public eye. The image was fleeting, caught by the quick lenses of photographers who thrive on chance, but it was enough to ignite a storm. Within hours, the photograph spread across every platform, turning whispers into headlines, and speculation into conviction. For many, the sight of her hand brushing against his, their steps moving in harmony, was not just a casual encounter, it was a revelation. The shock did not come merely from the possibility of a new romance, but from the contrast it painted against the years of quiet speculation surrounding her and Soo Kai. For a decade, fans had built dreams upon fragments, shared glances, subtle smiles, moments that hinted at something more. Now, in one unexpected night, those dreams seemed to shatter. Was this the truth they had overlooked? Had the story always been different from the one they hoped for? For Soo Kai, the revelation struck deeper than the world could see. He had always guarded his feelings with silence, convinced that time would one day offer him the right moment to speak. But time had betrayed him. In those photographs, he saw not only Tan Songyun with another man, but also the reflection of his own hesitation, the cost of years spent waiting. It was jealousy, yes, but it was also grief, a recognition that what he had kept hidden for so long might finally be lost. The internet fed on the mystery, dissecting every angle of the image, debating the identity of the man, questioning the nature of their bond. Some argued it was harmless, perhaps just an old friend. Others were certain it was the beginning of something more. But beyond the frenzy, what lingered was the ache of uncertainty. For fans who had believed in Soo Kai and Tan Songyun's unspoken bond, it was a blow that left them suspended between hope and disappointment. That night in Beijing became a turning point, not because it confirmed a romance, but because it forced hidden truths into the light. It revealed the fragility of silence, the danger of waiting too long, and the way a single moment can undo years of quiet longing. For Soo Kai, it was the spark that would awaken everything he had tried to keep buried, and for Tan Songyun, it was the beginning of questions she could no longer ignore. Jealousy is often painted as a destructive force, but for Soo Kai it became something different. A mirror, a spark, a force that awakened what he had buried for far too long. When the images of Tan Songyun walking with another man surfaced, the emotions he had held in silence for a decade surged to the surface with a power he could no longer contain. It was not simply envy of another presence by her side. It was the unbearable weight of his own hesitation, the pain of recognizing that silence had left him invisible in the story of her life. In those first days after the revelation, Su Kai wrestled with conflicting emotions. The world saw only a polished actor smiling beneath the lights, but inside, he was unraveling. Every memory of her, every laugh they had shared, every glance that had lingered in the past, returned with a sharpness that stung. He realized that he had loved her too quietly, that his restraint had protected him from scandal, but had also cost him the chance to stand by her openly. The photographs were not just of Tan Songyun with someone else. They were of a possibility that could slip away forever if he continued to remain still. That realization changed him. Where once he had hidden behind professionalism, he now began to act with purpose. He visited her filming locations, no longer afraid of whispers or headlines. He sent flowers that spoke what his lips had never dared to say. His social media shifted from neutral pleasantries to words that carried meaning, quotes about courage, about love worth fighting for, about the danger of waiting too long. Fans noticed, the press speculated, and Tan Songyun herself could not help but see the difference. Yet what made this transformation powerful was not only the grand gestures but the vulnerability behind them. Su Kai was not simply jealous, he was awakened. He was confronting the truth that love, once neglected, demands either action or surrender. And he chose action. His jealousy did not drive him to bitterness but to bravery, to a decision that whatever the outcome, he would no longer be silent. For the first time in 10 years, he was ready to fight, not against another man, but against his own fear. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one where Su Kai stepped out of the shadows and into the uncertain light of love declared. But Su Kai didn't stop there. He began spending time with Tan Songyun's closest friends, making sure she felt his presence in every circle that mattered. At charity events, he stood beside her. During fan meetings, he spoke of love in ways that set hearts racing. And in a completely new gesture, he began writing heartfelt letters, handwritten notes sent to her through trusted friends, reminding her of shared memories, of laughter, of dreams left unfinished. It wasn't just romance, it was persistence. The moment that stunned millions came at a glittering award show. Su Kai's name was called for Most Favorite Actor. The audience roared. But instead of heading straight to the stage, he walked to Tan Songyun, reached for her hand, and smiled. It lasted only seconds, but it was powerful enough to bring tears to fans' eyes across the world. This was no longer rumor. This was a silent confession in front of thousands. And what of the man who sparked this storm? Weeks later, it was revealed he was nothing more than an old colleague, a friend from the past. The supposed romance was never real. Relief washed over fans, who now believed the door between Su Kai and Tan Songyun was still wide open. Yet, the story is far from simple. Su Kai is not just fighting for love, he is fighting his own fears. For years, he hid behind silence. Now he faces the challenge of vulnerability, of proving that his love is not just passion, but patience, resilience, and growth. Tan Songyun, too, must decide if the bond they share is strong enough to overcome a decade of missed chances. Su Kai's journey has become more than entertainment gossip. It is a lesson in courage, in never letting go of what truly matters. His every action tells us, love is worth fighting for, no matter how long it takes. And for fans around the world, this is no longer just about a couple of stars, it is about the hope that true love, even after years of silence, can find its voice again. So now, we are left with the ultimate question. Will Su Kai's devotion finally win Tan Songyun's heart? Or has destiny already chosen another path for her? One thing is certain, this story is far from over. Sparkles, thank you for watching News Stars CN. If this story moved you, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next chapter in the dazzling world of Chinese stars. This is News Stars CN, bringing you the stories that inspire, surprise, and touch hearts across the globe. See you in the next video.